the hype machine, death of the journalist.
To help you overcome any fear of the future.
Don't believe it, don't believe it, don't believe it, don't believe it. Friday, April 18th,
Hey everyone, welcome to Barncat Media. This is a show where I just share my thoughts and theories on books, movies, current events, just really anything having to do with culture and media. So with football season just around the corner, I thought I'd take this opportunity to talk about fantasy football, specifically how fantasy football changes what it means to be a spectator, how it changes what it means to be a fan, and what these changes say about us as individuals as we interact with media in the 21st century. For those of you who don't know what fantasy football is, it is an interactive game that's played by creating a virtual team by drafting players in the NFL. Now, when one of your players scores touchdowns, you are credited with those points. So, for example, if Russell Wilson is my fantasy quarterback and he goes and throws 3 touchdowns, I, the fantasy owner of Russell Wilson, get credit for those points. Now, the way you compete with other fantasy teams differs from league to league, but the objective is always the same: to score more points than your opponents. Now, the game of fantasy football echoes some of the broader things that are happening with media consumption in the 21st century. And the first thing I want to talk about is this increasing shift towards simulated environments or virtual communities. And so just as Facebook and other social media have become virtual communities in which people interact in, fantasy football has emerged as yet another one of these technologically mediated environments by which our computers, smartphones, and televisions serve as a portal into. Now, the parallels between fantasy football and social media lead me to my second observation about the effects that it's having on us. And that is that, like social media, fantasy football creates this weird paradox where, on one hand, it is bringing people together and promoting interconnectedness, while at the same time, it's elevating this perceived significance of individualism. So let's take a look at that for a sec. When we play fantasy football, we're not really cheering for entire teams. Instead, we're cheering for individual players that are scattered throughout the league. And so the idea of success is removed from its origins as a collective team effort and sort of repackaged in this more self-concerned, individualistic definition.
Man, no touchdowns?
What you mean? We still won.
I didn't.
And so, for example, if Marshawn Lynch is my running back and the Seahawks are in scoring position, it's in my interest that the Seahawks not only score, but they score by giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch. So a pass to a receiver or a quarterback run will not benefit me, the fantasy owner, if I don't also have those players on my team. And so you can begin to see how fantasy football changes us as spectators, which in effect is changing us as fans. So let me tie this back into some of the broader implications of how we consume media in the 21st century. I mentioned in a past episode how Facebook allows us to become our own paparazzi by the way we document and publicize every aspect of our lives. Well, fantasy football continues in this vein by allowing us to basically cheer for ourselves when we watch a game. When we applaud one of our own fantasy players for scoring a touchdown, we're not really celebrating that player's athleticism or the team effort that just occurred, so much as we're really celebrating our own wise judgment in having drafted that player to our team.
Touchdown, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, but straight to Julio.
So continuing in that vein, fantasy football allows us to experience the game in a way that puts us, the individual, at the center of everything. And so by watching football with the hopes that events will unfold in a way that benefit us specifically, we are creating this sort of self-concerned reality in much the same way that Facebook and other social media environments are a way of moving reality into the virtual realm so as to make it more centered around us, the individual. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying that you can't occupy both roles. I'm not saying that you can't be a fantasy team owner while at the same time cheering for your home team. But I have been watching football for a long time now, and I think that this emergence of fantasy football is worth talking about because it has changed the way we view football.
Uses DirecTV to track 18 players while watching all the games.
It's changed the way we talk about football.
Back here on Fantasy Football Today, presented by State Farm. 4 more games to break down. Start or sit.
And most importantly, it's been a huge driver in technological development.
So there are a number of apps out there that can help you if you've joined a fantasy football league.
So I'm going to end the discussion there. Thanks for watching. Good luck to all you fantasy owners out there. Hope you score a lot of points. And join me for my next episode.
Just